representative government is a system where citizens of a country vote for government representative to handle legislation and rule the country on their behalf. It is the opposite of direct democracy, where the public gets to vote on laws to be passed and other issues, and autocracy, where a dictator has absolute power and the people have no say in how a country is governed. Nigeria's representative government has multiple power elections. The power representatives have in a liberal representative democracy needs to be balanced, which is why they have some form of measures in place. A constitution which specifies how much power representative may claim. An independent judiciary such as Supreme Court or the Constitutional Court with the authority to declare something the representative government decide on to be unconstitutional, and an upper house such as the Nigerian House of Assembly. As a federation, political power in Nigeria is exercised on geographical basis between national and the subnational government. The federal government has power over matters that affect the whole country. On the other hand, state government powers are limited to the boundaries of their respective state. From 1976, local government constituted the third tier of government. The arms of government are legislative, executive, and judiciary. The legislature at the federal level has two chambers: the Senate, which has 3 senators from each of the 36 states and 1 from FCT Abuja, while the House of Representatives is elected on the basis of population and not the equality of state. The executive arm of government executes the law made by the legislature, responsible for general administration at federal level. The judiciary is the third arm of government and responsible for the interpretation of law. At the federal level, the Supreme Court interprets the Constitution and can overrule an unconstitutional law passed by the legislature. The Senate has 109 members and the House of Representatives has 360 members. Once a candidate is elected, his program becomes the mandate of the elected officer. A mandate is therefore the political program approved by the people through their vote at election. It is this contract that binds the representative to his or our constituency. Summary is, representative government is a system by which all eligible adults or citizens are involved in government. The citizens elect the people to represent them, since they can have direct democracy in which everybody makes decisions. The representatives carry out the wishes of the people as expressed in the election. The people can remove any representative that fails in his or her duties. Government system assigns power to the 3 arms of government, in which they check over the others and cooperate with them to carry out legitimate functions. Finally, the fear of defeat in future elections keep government in check. Therefore, in a representative democracy or in a representative government, the people
come back. Representative government, you know you are the boss, you are the oga. You just send them an errand, go and represent me. And if they are not doing it very well, that's why we have the circle election every 4 years or every 2 years, depending on how it is. Local government 2 years, the national elections and the governorship and so on for 4 years. If they don't do very well, you vote them out. That's why you are the oga. Very soon now, in the next few months now, you'll see them running up out. Please, vote for me, because they need your vote to be there. And that's why we are having this program, so that you know their importance and your own power as that they are representing you. That's why we brought this topic, representative government, for you to know the essence, because without representation there can't be democracy. But I guess you help us put light into all these things. So, you know, we don't know book here. Now you know book.
Thank you, Mr. Wale. Let me quickly respond to the text messages before we went on break. I think a majority of people that sent in messages,
yes,
they express their common concern,
yes,
that the leaders has failed us. So it is as a result of general resentment, disenchantment and disillusionment arising from the maladministration and improper representation. So the concerns of citizens are valid. And this 2023 is another opportunity for citizens, like I said earlier, to rewrite this wrong, to ensure that they vote credible candidates you know, irrespective of their ethnicity, their religion, or their political affiliations. With that, I think Nigeria will begin a step to progress. Now, coming to the issue of representative government, every democracy is a representative form of government. And it was a philosopher, I think John Locke, that said that by representative government, the citizens and the government has entered into a pact.
It's called a social contract.
Social contract theory, yes, where citizens have relinquished their individual, you know, rights, their individual,
Donating.
yes, to a particular individual for the common good and for common, you know, distribution of scarce resources. That is what representative government is all about. Because everybody cannot be a leader at the same time. So we have relinquished our own respective rights and has said, let us submit ourselves to a particular authority with the belief that their decisions and whatever policies they are churning out will be for the betterment of the generality of the society. Of course, it is common knowledge that what is applicable in our society, in Nigeria for instance, is that those people at the end of the day go there to represent their stomachs, their cronies, and their individual aggrandizement. Of course, that is where you see that most people, particularly in the houses of assembly and the Senate, you see most of them don't care about good governance. They don't care about, you know, coming out with good laws that will be for the interest of the masses. You see them every now and then trying to talk about their own remuneration, their own packages, you know, their allowances and so on. So you begin to think that these people, are they representing the people that they swore to represent, or they are representing their own individual interests?
Yes, I'll just quickly dive forward. I mean, so before I forget, there's something we call constituency office. That is where those who have been voted in must interact with those that voted them in.
Very well.
That's the voters and the voted meet in their constituency office. Each constituency, each of the representative must have a constituency office.
Yes.
How do we ensure that that project comes to life now? Because some of them don't have constituency office. Some people don't even know that that is something that is supposed to be. Let me give you an example. There was a day I was in Abuja. I don't know. Of course, those who in Abuja know, and of course, some people travel very well. There's a representative from Imo State, member House of Representative, set up his constituency office in Gwarinpa Housing Estate. That's Imo State. He represents his people in Imo State. He set up his representative, that's his constituency office, where his people should be meeting him in Gwarinpa Housing Estate in Abuja. Which means that if his people want to come and see him, they must travel to Abuja to come and see him. That's even he had it. And of course, this time around, if you remember, there was Dino Malaye sometime when one of the issues that caused his about to be impeached issue was that he does not have a constituency office.
Well, he's wanting to force a horse to the river. He will not force it to drink. So for me, it's not really about having a constituency office. Are you going to force the person to come there when all of them are predominantly in Abuja?
It is statutory. That's where we are going. They can't be predominantly in Abuja.
But it's actually the individual that make up that office. People cannot go and visit an empty office. So it's the availability of those leaders in those offices. And beyond the physical office and location, are they close to their people?
That's the issue now we want us to look at.
The impulse of the people they represent, because that is the idea behind having a constituent office in your respective states. All of them are in Abuja because there is insecurity. They are also even afraid to come back. They are also afraid because they know they have not performed. They are also afraid of people.
We should face insecurity. You
can imagine when you are voting, you are campaigning.
Excuse me now. Let us look at it. I'm happy you have gone there. So we are ordinary people that should be left to the vagaries of insecurity.
They are even scared of you. They are scared of us.
They are scared of us.
People that they were begging at the time.
They will come and meet us now. They want us to vote for them in the next few weeks. It's all right. We are waiting for you.
That is the tragedy we are. So
we are waiting for them.
Election, they become your friends. They can even visit your homes. And they think that your interest is paramount to them. Once they win, You will never see them in that place again after the next
that
4 years.
constituency office must be working.
That is the issue.
They must be there. That's why we are going.
Most of them don't feel the impulse of the people. They live in glass houses. So when you talk about little things like the issue of monetary policy of the CBN, most of them cannot relate. You live in a cosmopolitan city like Lagos, you will not be able to feel the heat of an average person in a remote area in Borno, in Kogi State, in Enugu, as the case may be.
Yes.
So, but it's only when you're on ground, your people, you have local government chairman, you have councillors,
so
you have traditional rulers.
So Kingsley, how do we now make them to be part of? You see, when you don't wear the shoe, you know how it pinches. You have established it that
Yes.
they are in the urban,
Yes.
or in the powerhouse.
Yes.
While we, the ordinary people that voted them in,
Yes.
are in the rural area or on the just suffering.
Yes.
How do we now make them to know? Because if they don't suffer, they cannot now know how to ameliorate these problems.
Well, constitution, you know, most times I don't want to, because most people do not even know what the law says about their representatives.
That's why we are here.
Because the law requires you to recall such a legislator when he's not performing or when he has not done the statutory responsibility. You recall. But who recalls who here? Nobody recall. I have never seen the experience of any legislator being recalled by his own constituents.
It has
never been done.
But
so people must be awake.
Is it possible?
It's possible.
That's it. That's where we are
going. People must be awake. People must be conscious of their responsibility as citizens. They must be conscious of the responsibility of their representatives.
Good.
So whenever there is a lapses, they will be able to hold such a legislator responsible. And if you cannot recall, 2023 is another opportunity for you to vote the person out.
Good.
Okay. We have some messages here. In fact, not some. There are so many.
Legion.
So, yes, I'll just need to...
Meanwhile, thank you for not calling. In fact, I like you. Yeah, I wish I could just get across to you and give you chicken. It's there for outside.
In the spirit of Christmas.
Christmas chicken. For being loyal and being obedient. That's good. Oh yeah, move it.
Okay, this one says...
Obedient, not the political party, no. Don't look at it that way.
So we understand it. We understand it.
Okay, this one actually has a question. They said, I transferred my PVC from Oba to Magodo, Ojodu. Why should we go to Ogudu when it's meant to be at the nearest local government?
Well, I think that is left for the INEC to
If you have transferred, then you go to where you have been transferred to.
They have offices.
They are saying he should go back to the Ogudu where he did transfer to Magodo, Ojodu.
Let him go there for clarification. But what I know is that once you have transferred, you have transferred.
Exactly.
There is no going back again. So maybe he didn't get the issue right, or so he can go back to those places and clarify.
Okay,
right.
This one is coming from Victor in Abuja. We just talked about Abuja right now. How are you enjoying those people that are, having their
offices?
Constituency offices in Abuja.
Abuja, where they are supposed to be and where they are. Okay. This one says, good afternoon. The problem with our democracy is marginalization. Even when you are credible for a position and you don't belong to the cabals, your voice will not be heard. What an irony of USA democracy would claim to imitate.
Well, I think I've addressed this issue before, that politics is more of, we play a lot of money politics in Nigeria. So you must have the financial wherewithal for it to even be able to make it to the primary election level within your political party, or for them to even begin to accord some relevance to you. So money plays a big role in politics, and we have to begin to, diminish this money politics so that credible people can come on board. So, but if we still have this type of politics where money is the major issue, it will make some people to withdraw. So when you say tribalism or whatever, I think each political party has their own issues to contend with. But Nigerians should be awake to their rights and to their responsibilities. We'll have to begin to reduce this money politics, because if you don't demand, the pressure will be less. Because politicians on their side are also saying that they are feeling the heat from the citizens. Most people, if they go for campaign, they say you have to come and see the traditional rulers, you have to come and see the local government chairman, the society leaders and so on. And they go there with envelopes. If you don't, they think you are unserious. Yeah, they begin to see you as an unserious person. So that is where the issue is. We must begin to get these things right.
Okay, we still have so many messages. I'll try to be quick with it. This one says, this is Richard from Benue State. Says, every eligible Nigerian leader knows what is good for the country, but lack of policy implementation is the syndrome. Until check and balance will be allowed to prevail, particularly among the arms of the government, we can't experience good governance. Okay, another says, oh, this is long. This is Ike Okoye from Enugu State. I would just like to ask, are you connected to Okoye? Okay, this one is, leaders are born and not made. Experience depends on what one means in perspective. Higher educational qualification is not much a yardstick to measure a good leader per se, but political will and enabling mind to deliver. In Nigeria, contest politics is all about embezzlement and recycling of old experiences of bad governance and corruption, and forums that will perpetually retain them and their family membership in power for continuity, for continuous looting of public fund. Okay, this is let me just read everything together so we can have a reaction. Good afternoon to you, texting from Aba, Abia State. What is happening in Aba is an embarrassment, a situation where a local government chairman will print his picture and hang it in a caterpillar so that anywhere the caterpillar is moving on the road, people will know that it's him, the chairman, that is moving.
That's so hilarious.
I have to hold my
You know, it's the election period. Everybody wants to show. Maybe it was the chairman that hired the caterpillar, or he bought the caterpillar. So you want the people to know this is part of my what I've done. No, so you have to vote me again so that the caterpillar will
continue to move.
So I don't know.
Is that true?
So,
I suspect
so
you.
that's
I suspect you.
so that's actually the kind of politics
that we play.
Yeah, people are easily, you know, moved by certain
This
petty
little
things. You know,
petty.
without nobody has asked the local government chairman or governor how much allocation does he get at the end of the month.
How
has he been able to spend it? Nobody asks such questions.
We'll get there.
So when we get to that point,
we'll get there. We'll get there. One thing I know is that whenever Kingsley is on the set, his own style is another thing that goes deep in total. This issue now is one thing that we're going to make a topic very soon. Interrogating government officers,
yes,
the political officers.
Yeah, freedom, as a matter
we must
of
interrogate them.
As a
not
matter
that they
of
just
fact,
go there ahead.
Freedom of Information Act is there. People don't even know how to use them.
Government does not belong to them.
Freedom of Information Act requires you
to give
ask questions, get information. How much were you get in the last 6 months? How much allocation was given to you? And how have you been able to spend it?
Because they collect the allocation every month.
And if you don't explain it, there's consequences.
Yes.
But nobody takes that route. If you do that,
fact,
where are you coming from?
Thank you.